when the film The Last Gladiator was being made, and you were interviewed for that, and Alex Gibney was doing it, the NHL gave the producers a hard time because, you know, it was talking about fighting, and I was in this film, and Daly and Bettman weren't happy. They said, why don't you do it on somebody other than Chris Nyland? Why don't you do it on someone like Stu Grimson? This is coming from the NHL. And Alex Gibney and the producers, Barry, said, well, if that's the case, if you want us to do it on Stu, then we're going to have to open up that whole concussion issue. Well, they were all like, well, maybe just go with the drug addict alcoholic then. And you know, it kind of pissed me off. And they made it really difficult for the guys doing that film, you know, because they don't want to expose any of what happened. They don't even want to believe that happened back in the day, what we did. But regardless, like, so when you retired from hockey, what in the word is, you had concussions. You had a fight with, was it Laraque, I think? And at the end, you had
it was George. Yeah, it was
now,
George.
How many concussions did you get, if you don't mind asking, and me asking? And then, and how difficult was that on you when you had to step away from the game because of that?
Yeah, it was hard. You know, it's really, you know, knowing that how the science, the medicines have evolved to this point, we know a lot more about what is a concussion, how to diagnose it, and I think everybody's better off kind of how you treat it. I think there's a lot more awareness around that. Looking at it through that lens, looking back over my life, I mean, I can go back to my 4th and 5th year of age, you know, just a young kid where, you know, I had blackout episodes from head trauma. So to give you a hard, fast number would be really difficult, but it's dozens. I'm sure I had dozens of, you know, of what now is classified as a concussion. But here's the kicker about it. I fought George at a much earlier time in my career than the time that actually led to my retirement. And I mean, I took blows like that. You took blows like that, you know, for a good part of your career. But the accumulation, and when you continue to take those blows well into your 30s, you don't shake them off like you did when you were in your early 20s. So the head trauma, the blow that actually led to my retirement when I fought George in my second to last game, when he was an Oiler and I was a Predator, you know, it was a pretty stiff shot, but it was kind of another
the
cherry kind of situation where
the cherry on the bowl ice.
It was like the straw that broke the camel's back. Yeah, that's the best way to describe it. And I was having symptoms like when I was in my early 20s, I never had a concussion carry over into day 2, day 3, day 4. But when I was in my mid 30s, it was like I got 3 days removed from a fight, you know, I had earlier in the week, and it's like, man, my body feels really heavy. And I'd stand up, and it was just like I felt like I was 300 pounds. I was like, something shifted here. Something's going on. And, you know, the tough guy nature, it took me a while. It probably took me 4 good head blows in that year that I retired, before I actually came forward and said, hey, I think something really shitty is going on here. And my trainer pulled me out of the mix. And, you know, frankly, my body just never gave me permission to get back to playing. So that's the kind of way it kind of evolved for me. But, you know, sitting here today, I leave the game pretty intact. I feel pretty normal. I dealt with the post-concussion syndrome for probably a good year and a half, but I feel pretty normal today.